Welcome back to part 3. I'm Isabel O'Brien and we're continuing our conversation with today's guest. Let's jump straight back in. So we've touched a lot on Medtronic's journey, your journey. I'd love to touch on your thoughts for the future and, reflect a bit on the conversation. So to kick off, from your perspective, what are some of the most promising innovations or approaches that you see on the horizon for advanced life support as a whole?
As we continue to unlock the continuous data that our devices and therapies generate, AI and machine learning are increasingly important tools at Medtronic. We have been already partnering with NHS to assess an AI endoscopy model in real-world conditions. Busy gastrointestinal departments across the UK to help physicians to detect colorectal lesions such as polyps and adenomas in the bowel that may become cancerous. Bowel cancer kills more people in the UK than almost any other cancer. So those type of trials will further our mission to detect and early and improve patient outcomes. We also developed the first AI-powered surgery ecosystem. This is called Touch Surgery. This turns complex data into clear, actionable insights. It streamlines surgical procedures and creates a culture of improvement in surgical teams. For example, by automatically identifying critical phases of surgical footage for targeted coaching and analysis that discerns key surgical stage timings and tools, providing really key insights for surgical practice. In ECMO specifically, the data integration front currently, ECMO connectivity allows the transfer of real-time patient data to an external hospital system via a data streaming function. Those capabilities are designed to support smart intensive care units workflows, and they may lay the foundation for AI-driven clinical decision to be supported in the future. And this is something that has really an exciting potential. So there is quite a lot around the digital environment, both from pre-operative, operative, and post-operative case. And we are all excited about what this digital innovation can bring to the medical device field today.
For sure. It's such, as you say, it's such an exciting time because we're really at we're standing on the edge of all these crazy innovations. And it's great to see that all the minds that are at play in the industry, they're already thinking, how can I use this to make patients' lives better? How can I make this to make clinicians' lives better? I think as well, obviously, AI has touched every single person on the planet by now who owns a computer or a mobile. And it's great to see that we've moved past the narrative that AI is taking people's jobs. It's never going to be able to replace a clinician or a healthcare professional. It's just there to help them do their jobs better to ultimately improve patients' lives. So it's great to see it can do all those image analyses and, as you touched on with bowel cancer there, those very invasive procedures to make those as fewer pain points as possible would be really great to see in the future.
Indeed.
So, on to the next one. To what extent do you see collaboration between medtech companies and clinicians evolving even more in the future?
The collaboration between companies and clinicians has been fundamental to what we do in Medtronic for the past 76 years now. And the co-design from the outset is critical. At Medtronic, we are increasingly bringing in clinicians into the design process early. So that what we did for our ECMO system to really reflect what are the real world workflows. And this creates a solution that clinicians trust and adopt faster. Just an anecdote, Medtronic started in 1949, and the founder of ECMO was an engineer, Earl Buchan. And the way that Medtronic started was through a collaboration with a cardiac surgeon called Dr. Walton Lilly. Together to address a specific needs for a young boy, Earl Buchan in particular developed a first battery-powered pacemaker in the world. And that was coming out from an important power outage in Minnesota. And so the young boy could not be connected to the network, electricity network, to run his pacemaker. So how everything started back 76 years ago, today we still keep alive that collaboration between Medtronic Industries, so the engineering part, and the clinician part. Clinicians expect more from Medtronic, and we are uniquely positioned to really meet these needs to really better serve their patients. Our global reach today is commitment to quality and ongoing investments in innovation. So in particular, helping cardiac surgeons to tackle those complex diseases and improve millions of lives.
Definitely. Something that touches everyone. So it's really great to hear that collaboration is such a fundamental part of the business. So my final question, thank you for sticking with me so far. Looking beyond your immediate field of, medtech and the intensive care unit, what is one health innovation or trend that really excites you about the future of healthcare, and why is that?
When you think about 20 years ago, and I was starting my career in the medtech, I remember those X-ray images were not perfect, and when maybe someone was trying to identify an area which was pathological, still needed a lot of consultation among different healthcare professionals. Even when the diagnosis was done and the patient was carrying, for example, in operating theater, big scars or cracking the bones was required to access those anatomies. When I think already today where we are with a much better imaging from CT scans or MRI or echoes to the most minimally invasive surgical procedures, accessing to the most difficult anatomies through small incisions or small holes. This brings me to think about how AI incorporates in those diagnostic tools like CT scans and those technology like robots or endoscopic tools in even providing less and less minimally invasive, much earlier detection of diseases and even faster recovery. So when thinking beyond my specific field and in the future, it's all about less invasiveness, early detections, and fast recovery.
Perfect. I think, as we've said many, many times before, we're really at an exciting time, and I agree with you so much. I think there's so much more technology, even beyond that we've yet to discover, of how it can make patients' lives so much easier, how we can make clinicians' lives so much easier. So really improve healthcare for all. So thank you so much for joining me today, Giuseppe. It's been wonderful to talk to you.
Thank you, Jade.
Well, a huge thank you to Giuseppe for joining us for that fascinating discussion. I think you'll agree there's so much to take away, but the chat felt particularly timely following the recent passing of ECMO's inventor, Dr. Robert Bartlett, as Giuseppe highlighted there. It was also fascinating to hear about him meeting the first ever baby to be kept alive by ECMO. I think his passion for his field truly shone through throughout the conversation, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to follow us on social media, particularly our new Instagram account, which can be found at the handle emj.gold. That's it though for us this week, so goodbye from me.